We are Group 3 and today we will be doing Experiment 3, which is...
Determination of time setting of hydraulic cement. Hi, I'm Evan.
I'm Yali.
Hi, I'm Meg.
And we are Group 3! Now, let's have a brief introduction and get to know the standard reference used in this experiment. The standard reference used is the AASHTO T131-06 and ASTM C191-04A, or the standard method of test for time of setting of hydraulic cement by Vicat needle. This test method offers a way to assess if a Vicat time of setting specification limit has been reached. The measured time of setting is affected by the percentage and temperature of the water used, the amount of kneading the paste received, and by the temperature and humidity of the mixing room air and the moist cabinet or moist room air. Hydraulic cement setting time measurements depend on the test procedure. The time of setting, as determined by this approach, would not always be comparable to the time of setting as determined by other procedures for hydraulic cements.
So before we start the experiment, let's talk about the materials and apparatus. The first one is a Vicat apparatus. This should have a movable rod, and the end of the rod is used for measuring penetration and shall have a removable needle with a diameter of 1 to 0.5 millimeter, and the length should no less than 50 millimeter. We also have reference masses and devices, which are for determining mass and shall be evaluated for precision and bias at a total load of 1 kilogram. We also have graduated glass, which has 200 to 250 ml capacity. Plain, non-absorptive plate, which is square of similar plainness, corrosivity, and absorptivity to that of glass. And lastly, a flat trowel, which should be sharpened and has a straight edge steel blade of 100 to 150 millimeters in length. We also have the conical ring, which is made of a rigid, non-corroding, non-absorbent material and shall have a height of 40 to 1 millimeter and an inside diameter at the bottom of 70 or to 3 millimeters and an inside diameter at the top of 60 to 3 millimeters. We also have our mixer, bowl, and a paddle.
Next are the procedures. There are 3 basic steps to follow. First is the preparation of cement paste. Second is molding test specimen, and lastly, time of setting determination. Each steps have guidelines that need to be followed. So for the preparation of cement paste, first, weigh 650 grams of cement with the percentage of mixing water required for normal consistency. Distilled water is preferable and shall be used for all the referee or cooperative tests. Lastly, the test specimen used for the determination of normal consistency may be used for the additional determination of setting time by Vicat needle. So the next step is the molding test specimen. First, with the gloved hands, quickly roll the prepared cement paste into a bowl and toss it 6 times from one hand to the other while keeping the hands about 6 inches or 152 millimeters apart. Next, to fully fill the ring with paste, press the ball that is resting in your hand's palm into the larger end of the conical ring that is being held in your other hand. Third, by making a single motion with the palm of the hand, trim the surplus at the larger end. After, place the ring on its larger end on a glass plate and use a single oblique stroke of a sharp-edged trowel placed at a slight angle with the top of the ring to slice off the surplus paste at the smaller end at the top of the ring. For the fourth step, if required, lightly smooth the specimen's top with 1 or 2 strokes of the trowel's pointed end. During the cutting and smoothing process, be careful not to compress the paste. Next, the test specimen should be stored in a wet room or closet as soon as it has finished molding, with exception of while time settings are being decided. Throughout the test period, the specimen must stay in the conical mold supported by the glass plate. The same batch can be used to create both an autoclave bar and a time set specimen. Next, for the time of setting determination, after molding, leave the period of setting specimen in the moist cabinet for 30 minutes without disturbing it. In order to achieve a penetration of 25 millimeters or less, measure the 1 millimeter needle's penetration now and every 15 minutes going forward. For the penetration test, lower the rod's needle until it rests on the cement paste surface. Next, adjust the indicator to the upper end of the scale by tightening the screw or take a test reading. Release the set screw fast to release the rod. Wait 30 seconds for the needle to settle, and then take the reading to define the penetration. The fall of the rod may be delayed if the paste is eventually fairly soft on the initial readings in order to prevent bending the 1 mm needle, but the rod must only be released by the screw screw once the actual setting time has been determined.
No penetration test shall be made closer than 1/4 inch, 6.4 mm, from any previous penetration, and no penetration test shall be made closer than 3/8 inch, 9.5 mm, from the inside of the mold. For number 4, record the results of all penetration tests and by interpolation determine the time when a penetration of 25 mm is obtained. This is the initial setting time. The final setting time is when the needle does not seen visibly into the paste.
So in interpreting our results, in order to get the VICAT initial time of setting, we determined and calculated the time elapsed between the initial contact of cement and water and the time when the penetration is at 25 mm. We also determined the VICAT final time of setting by determining the time when the needle does not sink visibly into the paste. According to the ASTM specifications, the initial setting time shall not be less than 45 minutes. However, in the field, it is preferred to have an initial setting time of not less than 90 minutes. And in the case of our experiment, we were able to have an initial setting time not less than 90 minutes. Thus, this test method is good and will do the job in determining the time setting of the hydraulic cement by VICAT needle apparatus. This experiment allowed us to know the setting time, and in order to be able to decide the time duration of mixing, transporting, placing, and compacting the concrete